A little bit of bad news, unfortunately. Your regular teacher is a bit indisposed at the moment, but he did not wish for you to be without a lesson for the week. He is not hurt, technically, but he is currently dealing with a curse. So he has retreated into the mindscape in order to deal with it. All is well. It is being taken care of. Do not worry. Now, I am Lakshmi, though you may still refer to this body as Joe if you wish.
Understood.
Now then,
I feel as if Miss Locke will work.
I thank you. I am rather attached to the name. Now, before we begin, I see there is someone new.
Indeed. I am Ryoto. I've come to watch over this one.
As a parental figure, as a family figure, or...
A guardian figure.
Understood. If it was anything aside from that, we would have worries. Now, with that out of the way, you are welcome to observe, and if you have any questions or you wish to join, simply let us know.
Very well.
So, for today, we are not without anything to do. You all are going to be registered with the magical artifact that interested Joe in taking ownership of this place. It is called the Cosmo. By registering with it, you'll be able to utilize it for rituals, as well as it may be able to be utilized in order to find you in case anything happens. Since you all already understand Joe's character, please also understand that he would never use it unless it was a dire circumstances in order to do so or without your permission. Any questions so far?
None.
No.
Understood. Now, follow me.
Come on, kiddo.
Hmm?
Come on.
I've gotten better with this whole teleportation portal thing.
That's a good
That's
thing.
good.
We wouldn't want you losing your meal every time you do so. Now, before we begin, have you been taught of the planes?
I do not believe so,
Heard
no.
of them?
Mm-mm.
Understood. Well, where we currently are is the material plane. This encompasses Earth, the galaxy, the universe, etc. The physical plane of existence we find ourselves in. Connected to it, and then as they speak, all of a sudden you just see a diagram start appearing as they speak, with the material plane in the center and slowly several other images surrounding it, each one representing a different element. There are the four main elemental planes: earth, fire, air, water. Between them, sub-elemental planes where it's a combination element. And all of those have their energies flow through the physical plane. When they do, we are able to gather the mana from these various planes. And sometimes they even collect in certain ley lines. which are the mana blood vessels that flow through the world. And when they do, they create elemental crystals. Gather enough of them or have enough of a certain elemental energy, and you'll be able to open up a portal to any one of these. But unless you're able to survive extreme conditions that represent that element, it is highly suggested you do not. For example, the elemental plane of Earth, and the image would grow to show literally like as if someone took a huge hunk of the ground and like sliced it so you could actually see like the various layers of rock and dirt and such. Has no air. It is a plane full of beings that burrow all over the place and usually aren't able to see. After all, with no light, why would they need to? Hence a very advanced tremor sense, able to feel the vibrations around them. It is also a place where you can find any mineral, gems, gold, silver, platinum, any kind of rock or metal that can be found within the depths of the earth, you will find here. So it is ideal for a lot of those who travel through the realms to make contracts with various elementals that live here or various denizens, so that they may easily retrieve some of these gems and other such things in exchange for whatever it is those denizens wish for. Did you have a question?
Yes. Would they have materials that are not exactly from this world, such as Durasteel?
So, steel itself is an alloy. It is worked iron. It's not exactly something that you would find in the ground, but you might find the base material
Not,
components for
not,
it.
not, not, not steel. Durasteel. It's the stuff I'm made out of.
Are you
It's an
saying that
ore
this...
It's an ore that's
Are,
found on a planet not here.
it is a possibility. There are various ores and crystals that are unique to certain realms, universes, and dimensions that can be found in elemental planes. But curiously, they weren't found before until someone who knew of their existence accessed the plane. So things such as uranium was not physically found within the elemental plane of Earth until both its knowledge became more widespread and one who knew of it actually accessed the place. Whether this is a sign that all of the elemental planes are interconnected with the collective unconsciousness of the material plane, or it's simply because no one thought to ask, is unknown. But along these lines, you'll also find entire communities, entire races of entities that make the elemental planes their home. And beyond the elemental planes, the picture shrinks and all of a sudden you see a towering mountain surrounded by lights, a several layers of a burning pit, and an almost endless expanse of darkness. The positive energy plane, where Mount Celestia is found, otherwise known as the closest thing to heaven you'll find, as it's depicted in certain books at least. This is where you find a lot of celestials, divines, other such entities. But unless you have some protection from such things, it can also overfill you with positive energy and cause you to explode if you take in too much. Try not to visit there unless you're protected. And then, of course, we have the negative energy plane, otherwise known as the closest thing to hell. Literally, the place is called the Nine Hells. This is where you'll find a vast majority of devils, those who regularly make contracts for bids for power. So if you know any warlocks, they probably have friends here. The reason why I'm bringing this up is by connecting yourself to the Cosmo, you'll eventually learn how to utilize it in order to open your own portals to gain access to the energies of these places, whether you need to access it for speaking with various outsiders, various elementals, or whether you need to actually go there for whatever reason. Artifacts such as this, which are able to read the currents of mana that flow through the material plane and beyond, are useful for such things. And is part of the reason why this entire academy was built. Any questions thus far?
None.
No? Understood. Now, registering is relatively quick and easy. All it needs to do is take a quick glance at your mana signature in order to recognize you. And that way, when you try to access it, it won't see you as an intruder and kick you out. A painful process, I assure you. Please forgive me if we don't register you since you're only here for observation.
That's perfectly fine.
Now, who would like to go first? Very well. You, the handsome one.
Yeah,
Yes, Oslin, you're
Yes,
Why,
you-
thank you.
Get to
Much
moving.
appreciated.
You're quite welcome, dear. Now then, stand right here. And then, don't move. A thin light will come from the center towards you, and it'll feel warm as it flows energy through your mana circuit in order to read it. It shouldn't take too long. And in doing so, light starts gathering, fires a thin beam, starts reading you, and for a very, very brief moment, you blink, and it feels like you could see the very edges of the universe. And then it's gone.
Whoa. Whoa.
Hmm.
All right then. All right
This
then.
is also a very useful tool for divination purposes, capable of finding anything that you wish to look for, so long as you understand what it is or have an item of it.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Good to know.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are you talking about spells like scrying would be useful to do through something like this?
Exactly. Scrying, locate item, locate person.
Understood.
Did you
You
have
know-
a question?
Somewhat. That mention of divination magic actually made me realize, do you know if anybody here is part of the mission? This block?
Aside from Joe himself, who's currently indisposed, no. Though there are a few members that I know of who have decided they are unable to go, so some folks here might be asked if they can participate. But that is not here nor there.
Very well.
Now then. Briar?
Yeah, sure. Bless you.
Bless you.
I'm so sorry.
Bless you.
Bless
Bless
you.
Curse this mortal body. In any case. Oh, wait. It is. That's why I'm here. So, light starts to shine, fires a thin beam right at you, and as it connects and starts reading, you blink, and all of a sudden, you actually can see Mount Celestia in all its entirety. And you also catch a glimpse of the. I can't remember what he was, but the dude who's going to give you the trial look at you very briefly before it vanishes. Planetar, I think he was.
Okay. Okay. Um.
Hmm?
Interesting. No. Was that it?
That was it. It has now read your mana signature.
Oh.
It's a very simple process.
Yeah.
Takeda.
All right.
Alright. Starts glowing, and it'll briefly connect.
Do you have
And as
weird
it
vision
does,
too?
You actually see best place
Cool, cool. Not just me.
on the moon.
Good to know.
No.
The community that lives there very briefly and in its pristine form before it cuts off.
Well, that was interesting.
Are you well?
Yeah.
Vanta. Starts to glow. It connects. And when it does, you actually see essentially Vanta's birthplace, the home ship and all of the MI units that make it their home. Whatever it is they be doing at this point in time as they go about their business. And it's a very brief second of a glimpse, but it feels stronger than they normally would be. Are you well?
Yes, it's just that was
No memory detected.
well,
Take
my
a step to the
processor spoke
side.
for itself.
I suppose they haven't finished
Hmm.
my scan yet.
Technically, it knows your mana signature, so you are already connected.
Yeah.
Solo.
Go on, kiddo.
Thin light. Connects. They don't get any particular place, but what they see. Actually, no, they do. They see the tower in its entirety, just from the outside, and the images of each symbol climbing up it. It is brief, but it is there. Are you well? Hmm. Thank you very much, Solo.
Come on, kiddo.
Cleary. I'll be honest, I have no idea what anything of her backstory is, so.
It's fucking fine.
If
Cool.
you want
Hmm?
me to, do you want me to
It
give the
would be a
best accurate?
It would be a brief image of a place that is currently important or significant to them. Or at least one that will be.
If you want to, you're welcome to.
I mean, you
I'm
would
curious to
most
see what you
likely.
think you know.
I mean, you'd most likely see the memories that are being unlocked. Correct? You'd most likely see the homeworld that you may have not actually. If it's locked in her memory, would she be able to see it?
Technically, yes. Very well. Glows brightly. Thin beam. And when it connects, an unfamiliar place, yet feels like. It feels comfortable. You're not exactly too sure why, but you're understanding where different places are in this brief glimpse that you get of a countryside? I don't know. It's either that or a city.
It's a shrine.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. You briefly see a shrine. and a statue of a silver monkey in 3 different pieces. No one can ever figure out how to put it together in time.
Hmm.
One of these days, the blue barracudas will get it.
Amen.
I'm sorry, I had to. No. But seriously, you see, shrine feels very familiar. You're not too sure why, and then a presence that seems to appear, a pair of eyes that look right at you before the vision vanishes.
Mm.
I totally didn't backhand a fan.
Totally didn't hear
Know your
that.
place.
Speak faster!
Is it your only fan?
Yes. Yes, it is. Now that you are connected, you'll be able to properly learn a variety of rituals that are usually difficult for you to utilize unaided. Again, these can be utilized for divination, they can be utilized for larger magical spells, they can even be utilized for summoning. But anything that happens here is heavily watched, both by Joseph as well as the spirit that is essentially the house. Yes,
Is there anyone else who can look in on the spells that are being cast?
at the moment of their casting, no. At least there shouldn't be. Now, any questions? Because after this, there is a place that Joseph wished to bring you. A calming place to be used for meditation and focus. When your normal day-to-day areas lack what is needed. No?
No.
Understood. So, I will prepare the portal. Please, talk amongst yourselves as I do.
I'm gonna take a guess from everybody's
Something on your
reaction that
mind?
I'm not the only one that got a weird memory
Mm.
thingy pop up in my head.
See,
Mm,
kiddo,
I
nothing
saw
to be
the edge of the
scared of.
universe.
I saw my
Nothing to be
birthplace.
scared of. You don't need to hide.
Oh, so different things.
D-
Oh.
Yeah, I saw my birthplace
Interesting.
for
But
the
I don't know
current
any of
time,
these
like what's
things, I
going
would
on
say.
there right now.
Interesting. I have no idea why I saw
Yeah.
the edge of the universe.
I'm just curious.
But they
about
in
that,
Joe's
'cause
class.
It was like
I
the
was
whole.
interested.
I got
What about
glimpse
you
of the
two?
So I think
entire
they're
universe
probably
and just
alright.
nothing.
You think you would have seen something
Huh.
special because you're so wise?
What about you two?
No, if anything,
Obviously,
I've
don't
just been
go
spying.
City
along
on
with any of
the
them if they try asking you to, but
Mount Celestia.
I don't think they'll hurt you here.
Ooh,
Do you want to
fancy.
go over there?
Is it
and
because of
I've
the?
been-
It
But I
might
wouldn't
look
even
kind
know
of
how
neat
to-
because of the thing.
No, I'm quite fine here.
What thing?
Yeah, I don't really know that either.
The,
Rather
the,
To
the
be
intriguing.
honest
thing.
with you, kiddo.
Oh, yeah, no, I've been needing to go back
Such
there.
an artifact.
Well,
For
Oh.
I mean, I
Before
was
I open the
shown my.
portal, there is something that you need to know. What you see, technically, will not be real. It is a place that will react to what you believe is calming. Understood?
Okay.
I guess, but so I saw my birthplace of all things, and from the sounds of it, you have some sort of connection to the Celestia thing you're talking about. So maybe the visions have something to
portal's
do
open.
with things we're connected to?
Everyone, welcome. This place has no official name, but it is simply what Joseph calls a quiet spot. One that all of you are able to gain access to now that you have connected to the artifact, the Cosmo. And you may even bring others. Now then, let's try something else. Hmm?
Come on.
Oh no, I'm so good at stairs.
Stairs.
I mean, at least you're not one of those what are those guys called claptrap units.
Ah,
They can climb
Who
stairs.
whipped
Yeah,
for
me?
life.
being a match unit, I feel like talking bad about other robots is a little offensive.
No. I mean, they're on one wheel.
There we go.
So?
They can't climb stairs.
How does this feel?
And?
I've already
Yeah.
seen the reaction. So
Oh, yeah. I guess familiar.
Hmm.
I'd be lying if it does something for me.
Oh my god.
Though it's also rather uncomfortable too.
Well, at least they ain't boxes. Oh.
Oh.
This is a place to meditate,
strange.
isn't it?
You know, I don't know if I
I'm not
entirely
exactly
feel
too
comfortable
sure
with this
why,
one. Oh.
but
Huh?
there's a friend of Sir Joe's who absolutely loves this particular setting.
gee, I wonder why.
I'm not sure I follow.
It is a place to meditate. Some
Right.
people are able to see all of the flashing lights and such like this and actually allow themselves to go into a lull, to slip deeper into themselves. Others prefer other such things,
Well,
like the depths of space.
It's like I'm back on the ship.
It's close. It's not quite right, though.
What did one meteor say to the other when they broke up? I need a little space.
Alright, railing. Come on, railing. Ah, damn.
I liked it.
Absolutely.
Of course, it's got a save to get.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Ah! Shite.
Why is it turning?
This is safe?
Oh.
It is. Now, for those who wish to manipulate the space, I see you found it already. Let's see.
There we go.
This is one of my fates.
This reminds me of
Add a character note. I just got scared the absolute shit out of it because I forgot to leave a Discord call and some random person just joined.
Oh God. Oh, hey, I think you dropped this here.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No.
I'll see.
Yeah, this is real familiar.
So this is what the aquatic magic. This is what the aquatic machine deficiency is, huh?
Perhaps. But the reason why Joseph wanted to bring you all here is because there will be times where you encounter supernatural phenomena. Results of spells either being used against you or spells that have simply not worked how you wish them to. And you will require a quiet place to recenter yourself. Because if one's mind is unable to focus, one cannot hold spells. One cannot hold the image required for what it is you wanted to do. One isn't able to gather the mana required in order to power it. And while there are workarounds, as you've been slowly taught with your focuses, was it? Sometimes it is best to actually take a while to reflect, to look within in order to ask yourself, why? And remember. To remember why you wish to learn magic, to remember why you wanted to use it, to remember who you are using it for, if not for yourself. For some of us, we utilize magic in order to protect our friends, our family. For others, it is to pursue a specific goal. But in light of things that happen along the way, sometimes we forget. Or other things muddle the picture. And we need to figure out how they fit into what we originally wanted to do. For myself, I wish to always protect those who called out to me for my protection. To heal those that I called my children. For Gilgamesh, he simply wishes to find the next big fight. Or
Get
the
it from me,
next
kiddo.
amazing weapon.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So, let's start here. Vanta, you're still a new entity. Why do you wield magic?
Well, the simple answer was because I was created with it, but I mean, it's hard to say why, really.
Eventually you will have an answer. But it is alright if you do not
Maybe.
have one right now. How about you, Hoslin?
The pursuit of knowledge.
A fine goal. Are you pursuing knowledge for the sake of knowledge?
Absolutely. Being a headmaster,
sim-
teacher, all of that. Seek knowledge to share knowledge.
And how far are you willing to go?
That's a very good question. I have yet to know my limit.
If someone were to offer you knowledge in exchange for you abandoning those you hold dear, would you take it?
And that is a tough question in itself, for I avoid getting close to others, for every time I did, I would lose them to the Great War of my world, or I would outlive them. So as a defense, I don't get close.
Seems you still get close anyway. No?
You are not wrong.
Perhaps you should start thinking of what limits you are willing to set to yourself and what knowledge is not worth pursuing. Hmm? Why do you wish to learn magic?
Now or before? Because since learning about my magic, I feel like it's probably changed a little bit.
Answers are prone to change. Goals are always shifting. Why do you pursue magic now?
To defeat my demons.
And why did you pursue it before?
To learn more about myself.
Would you say that by learning more about yourself, you've discovered these demons that you need to defeat?
Most of the demons that I decide to take on are not fights that were originally mine.
Then perhaps you
Most
need
of
to meditate on why you decided to take up these fights.
In every single version, it's helping those I care about.
Then it sounds like you're close to your answer, hmm?
Feels like I'm getting further every day.
Well, do you wield it to fight or to protect? That's the
know.
important question. How about you, dear?
Curiosity. And to help
A
other
fine
people.
goal. Always good. Always keep learning, my dear.
Mhm.
Always keep asking questions. And only be afraid when you stop.
Did I ask a question about that? Or should I? Is that forcing it? Or.
Go on.
What happens when I run out of questions?
Well, then perhaps you'll have figured out how everything works. And you'll need to find something else to make you ask questions, hmm? A road of self-discovery is always interesting.
Well, I guess I could say what happened. I guess before I came here, it used to be protecting those the innocent from the darkness, but I can't say that anymore. But I guess it's got to be protecting those who are close to me.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hmm.
After all, not all darkness is evil, and innocence is a frame of mind.
Hmm.
Those who are close to you, a lot easier to figure out.
Yep.
How about you, friend?
I use my magics to protect those under my charge. And those who I care for as well.
Like this
I
one?
do pursue it in, of course. And including the one sitting on the couch.
That's you, Miss Burner.
Yeah.
You certainly do seem
No,
to
I was
gather a
so
lot of
pursued.
bodyguards.
I don't actively defend them, but I do what I can when I am available.
Understandable.
Now, I believe some of my use of magics have changed to also wanting to grow beyond my current limitations.
Always a noble goal. Self-improvement is something that one should always pursue. The you of tomorrow should usually be stronger than the you of yesterday. Within reason. How about you, young one? Why are you learning magic?
There's nothing else to do.
That's fine. Gives you something to do and people to do it with, right?
I'm pretty sure it's just what's expected of me at this point.
Well, if you do not wish to learn it, you do not have to. What do you wish to do?
I want to make friends.
A fine goal. I know you're not exactly learning magic, but why do you fight? What goals do you pursue?
Originally, it was just to make money. Now I've got people that I actually care to protect. But go on.
A noble goal. Ever and always.
Yeah.
Wanting to protect those that you are close to is something understandable. Well, that seems to have been everybody. Are you all right, Vanta?
Not sure.
Oh dear. Should we send you home?
No, it's not that.
I see.
I think whatever that mana breed thing was is causing an error.
Oh dear. Unfortunately, I don't know much about technology in order to figure out what's wrong.
Do you know it?
Maybe I could help.
Huh. Now they are looking over.
Okay.
Oh, that's uncomfortable. Well, while they're looking over that, how have you been doing with your spells?
Doing great.
I've been over 8.
How about you, young one? You're relatively new at all this. Were there any spells you were having issues with?
Emergency
I'm good
shutdown
at
initiative.
magic. I'm not good at shocking grasp.
Are you just having difficulty understanding it?
I
Well,
think so.
that seems unfortunate.
I don't really get the spell.
Oh, there's something right there.
Understood. Do you know what a joy buzzer is?
Seems once I
Mm-mm.
got shut down.
Pulls out a small ring-like item. Puts it on
see.
their finger. This is an item that provides a very, very tiny shock when it's touched. People use it as a manner of joke, so that when they shake hands with someone without them realizing they have it on, they're briefly shocked when they touch it. Shocking grasp is not dissimilar, but it is a higher energy requirement.
Let's
Not
see.
to be rude, but it's probably best to let the engineers take care of onto their kid.
So I could shock people with it?
Mm-hmm.
That should be a temporary
At
fix.
very,
but let's see
very
here. One
tiny
more
amounts
thing.
of mana, you'd
There we
be
go.
able to do
It would be
something
best
like
to
cause
not
someone's hair
turn
to
her
fluffy,
on right now.
or cause them to
Well,
get shocked
just
every
gonna be
time
a
they touch
temporary
something
fix,
metal
so
due to the heavy amounts of static
we'll be
electricity
shut
clinging
down
to
for a
them.
while.
Mm.
Have you ever had that
Oh,
happen
she
to you?
already is.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't Bonza
Yeah, well,
speaking.
So,
I'm for a while.
when it's normally used, it's used to do that in a more damaging sense,
Okay.
where it will actively hurt someone.
Oh,
It's best to send the unit back.
what if I don't want to
You
hurt
seem
anybody?
to be versed in magic,
And
kid.
therein
How about
is the
you
issue.
follow me?
If you don't,
Okay.
use it in small doses in order to kind of warn people away from hurting you, because it should only be used in self-defense. Or, again, to play pranks.
Okay. So, you are not currently speaking to
For
Bonza.
example,
Bonza has shut
may I?
herself down due to a memory failure. Getting a false memory implanted into her like that is something
Casting
she's
a
not
little bit of
physically designed for.
shocking grasps,
Thus,
it's a
cause
light
an
jolt that
system
flows
error.
through you, and your hair just kind of slowly rises up.
So, memories not for home placers can cause errors.
Well, that was interesting.
We can help deal with that, but for now, that sheet remains shut off. As the protective.
Admittedly, there might be some creeps who
So,
decide
I
that
guess
a
hello.
little shock isn't enough to
My name is
stop. In which
Kazuna.
case, you should do whatever you can to either get away or defend yourself.
I am Takeda.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think I can allow you to mess with
Think
our
you'll be able to
systems.
practice it?
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
At least, not to a certain
Anybody else
degree.
been having issues?
After all, sometimes it's best to keep things under wraps.
My hair's
No, I think
They either work or they just don't. I don't know what's wrong.
But if you want
That's
a
right.
temporary
Joseph was
firewall
trying
over
to figure
thing,
that out.
Try.
Oh, no, never.
She goes into a
They make
grab
one
the hairbrush and
sense,
starts
one.
trying to
They
put it
make
down.
Okay.
I mean,
it makes sense one moment, and then they stop making sense suddenly.
No, it's okay. I got this.
Well,
That sounds like
See, I
an
am
issue they really need to do a deep
not
dive on.
human. But I'm
Not
also
exactly
not
something I'd be able to work with,
synthetic.
but definitely something I'll remind Joseph to do.
I'm what you could call a
As an
viral
observer,
boy.
do you have any comments thus far?
No.
Or, since
Either of
it's
you?
a
If anything,
it might come
I would say there's a certain
Fauna
person who would
sentiens
be
virus.
deeply interested in you
ah,
as an academic.
I was specifically
Oh.
designed by CMMI
He'd
as a
probably
way
even
to
be
help
interested in
control their
picking your
units.
brain.
As what better way to control units and prevent
Who
them
might
from
that
going
be?
rogue than a botnet.
The man's name is Malinor.
fail safe. That's
You
always
might be able
good.
to see him generally in the
Well, I mean,
Lotus.
the whole reason for this is because of
We
some
know
rogue
of him.
units occasionally going rogue due to a
Ah.
part of theirs being
We have
corrupted.
met.
I mean, we've currently got a robot that's running rampant on our planet, and
That's good.
we just can't catch it.
It's nice to see other
It's one of
people
our
with
probably
academic
most
brains
powerhouse
like
units.
his meeting
And we can
others.
never catch it.
I
By
can
the time
imagine
we
you all
find its
nerding
location,
out
it's
between
already had
each
2 new
knowledge
locations.
discussion.
Indeed. So, if there aren't any questions thus far about
It
this
was designed
place
to be effective.
your current
But
goals,
it went
anything like that.
haywire, and that's caused problems.
How about going back to the previous
After that,
discussion of
I
the
created a-
planes? Any questions from there?
So, in a sense, I have a direct connection to
Plane
not
shifting.
all, but I suppose
Yes, dear.
lots of MMI.
I know of it, and
More specifically, those that are of a personal value to people, and those that are noted to
what
be
does
part
it
of a
take to
thing
do
known as
something
the
like plane
Aero
shifting?
Tech Squad.
Well,
In a way,
there
you could say I'm their
are
commander.
3 different methods of plane shifting. One of which is willing, one is unwilling, and one can be
I
taken
recommend
out of it.
keeping this to yourself.
That's more than 2.
This would be best revealed
I said
to
three.
perhaps Sir Mr. Cho, the right
I
time.
heard 2.
I apologize. I said to switch to 3.
Yeah, I guess.
Thought of it as I was
So, for
talking
now,
about it.
just
So,
know this is not about
the first method, you have to know where you're going, whether it's viewing it in some way, shape, or form, or having an item from it, or a connection. By picturing it in your mind, you cast a spell not unlike teleportation in order to shift yourself. But shifting through the planes requires a lot of energy.
When you say, does it open a portal like some teleportation, or? I
No.
guess I'm asking, following someone
So-
through a plane shift. Is there any way to
Following
tell where
someone-
someone plane shifts?
There is, but that in itself requires a higher level of mana sensing, where you're able to not just sense their energies, but read what they've done in order to cast the spell to figure out where they went. Now, if they opened a portal, which was going to be the third point, that's a lot easier because it's a physical object in a way that you can simply walk through. Tearing a portal open to one of the other planes is easier than simply shifting there, but it leads itself to allowing either people you don't want involved to follow after you, or entities on the other side to come out. Because a portal is literally a doorway. Now, considering you could dictate where you're opening the portal, one doesn't necessarily have to willingly go through it. After all, you could drop it underneath somebody to send them falling through, or you could literally throw someone through. Now, the second point is banishment. It is technically a form of plane shifting, but you are forcibly sending someone here to whatever their home plane is. Now, if they are from here, from the material plane or whatever plane of existence you're in, then it shifts them to the astral plane for a short amount of time before they are brought back.
I have a couple questions about banishment.
This follows the lesson, so I'll allow it.
Is that so? If they're, say, from one of the positive planes of energy, but they're on the material plane, and you banish them, they get sent back until they can find a way to transport themselves back to the material plane, or are they?
Or
locked
if the
there?
spell is so, when one is banished, they aren't locked at the place they are banished to, but they are simply sent there unless other steps are taken. Think of it like this.
It's like a temporary timeout.
Indeed. Pulls
Put
out a
them
rubber
in
band.
one spot, and then they come out after an X amount of time.
When someone
Right.
goes from a plane, from their home plane to another, imagine that they are tied to a rubber band. When you banish them, the rubber band pulls them back.
Right.
It doesn't snap the band, so it's still so that means they're still able to leave their plane to somewhere else. It also acts as a means of allowing them to return if they so wished. But a banishment is a long process. You don't just cast it one and done. You have to actively continue concentrating on it to send them there and hold them there until a point in time where they can't actively return. If you lose your concentration or the spell drops for whatever reason, they return right in front of you.
Probably pretty pissed off that you tried to banish them.
Indeed. Now, there are methods to keep someone where you send them back to. But again, extra steps.
Right.
Case in point, you would need to actively go to where you banish them to and seal them there.
There's no remote way to do something like that?
No. Unfortunately, it's along the lines of sending a dragon to their room without dinner and then following after them in order to make sure they stay grounded. The first
How
part,
difficult is it?
technically relatively easy. The second part, you're following a dragon into their room.
Is it more difficult to banish someone like a dragon or a demigod, per se, rather than someone like me?
The stronger an entity
Maliciously
is,
so.
the stronger an entity is, the more they are able to resist. Admittedly, banishing a dragon is a little difficult considering that they are entities of the material plane. The only thing you do is shift them to the astral plane for a while, at which point they will come back.
Right. But like a demigod that's not from this plane would then be sent back to their plane.
Yes. It would require a lot of energy, but yes. It's part
That
of a
was
reason
all.
why an active banishment for something large like that would require several casters or a very well placed spell circle.
Why a spell circle? I'm not sure I understand.
So, a spell. Have we gone over spell circles?
A little bit, we did.
Yes and no.
We did, right. We did a summoning
A
spell
s-
circle.
A spell circle is a method of creating a spell in a physical point.
Right.
And the more complicated and more energy you pour into it, the stronger it is. The longer the preparation usually means the more potent the spell.
Could you
Now,
prepare a spell like that over time? Put a spell circle
yes,
here and start
so
dumping
long
mana
as
into it.
nothing disrupts it.
Hmm.
It's along the lines of drawing with lines of salt or drawing something on the sand in the beach. So long as nothing kicks it over or interrupts it, you're still able to consistently improve it over time, build more mana into it, that kind of thing. But if anything disrupts it, all that
I'm
hard
sorry,
work is gone.
we've gotten way off track from the original lesson.
I wouldn't say so. Case in point, spell circles are a simple way of creating areas where you could teleport to, or even methods of opening holes
Okay.
into different planes. Are you alright?
Just kinda.
Just kinda.
I mean, she's offline, but she is for the most part fine.
She who?
Anta.
Who are you?
You might have heard my name before. Kizuna?
The sassy one, yes.
And the technical commander of Anta, in a sense.
Understood. Well, with that being the case, any questions thus far? How about anything you'd like to learn at this point in time in relation to the lesson? Well, then, with all of this heavy discussion mostly over and a break slightly needed, how about something fun?
It's fun time.
I think I already knew
This
what
was
you
set
were
up ahead of
trying to
time.
do, Briar.
As do I.
What the?
And let me
Forgive
warn
me
you,
for...
Oh.
I think what you
Oh.
did with that
Sploosh.
Oof. It's fun to
Oh
fly
my gosh.
around, especially
Oh my
love it.
god.
especially my own form.
may not be as strong as
I'm gonna have to fourth dimensionally sit down for this.
just as pricey if you had did it with that core.
Or just, mentally prepare yourself for the possible motion sickness you might get from this.
I'm trying to come up with options.
All
Yes.
of your options involve being harsh.
Go on,
in the
kiddo.
same
Why
way
don't you
that
try
the
one out?
person has been hard to us.
Oop.
I thought you were more compassionate than that, Miss Briar.
I don't believe I've seen, or rather, I don't believe
When you
Vanza
put
has seen
someone
you
in
before.
jail for murder, you're
Or
condemning
if
them
she has,
to
it
their own
was lost
death,
in her databanks.
whether it be long and
You
painful.
know, I don't remember right now.
Is that not fair for someone who is
Don't mind
committed sins
telling
against the innocent?
her your name.
I go by Coral.
She may be off.
Technology in this case, Miss Briar.
Got it. While Vanza may be offline, she is still technically recording what's being
Don't
said.
want anyone to get
So
hurt,
she will
no
know
matter what side
roughly
they're
what's
on.
going on when she wakes up.
Alright.
Tata.
When someone walks into your house to hurt you, in most people's opinions, they forfeit their right to say
Already
whether
done?
you're allowed to be nice or not.
It
And
vanished.
I agree with them.
And I ended up over there.
Oh, it vanished on you?
Hmm.
Why don't you try
That's
again,
why there
kiddo?
are self-defense
Be a bit
laws.
more gentle with the stick, yeah?
Do I think that hurting people is okay?
No, I need to use the restroom.
No.
You need to use the restroom.
But when you choose the lesser of two evils to protect those who haven't done anything wrong,
Hey, where is he?
it's the best of a bad situation.
Right,
The
where's
real
Joe with
question is
tits?
it the only choice?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yes, my dear.
Yeah, the kiddo's gotta go take a
If I
piss.
didn't look at all the options, I'd be a fool.
Very well. You take care, all right? You
Yeah.
take care, all right?
Yeah.
Of course. All right. Close your eyes. I'll send you back home.
Perfect landing.
Right.
One.
Kiddo,
Well done, Takeda.
think you can handle it in the Joe's house, right? The butler will take care of you. Kind of want to listen to the lesson,
Excuse me.
though, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Understood. Close your eyes. And 3, 2, 1. They're sent back.
You have a good heart, clearly.
Oh dear, Waters.
You know, that actually is a good question.
Oh.
How do we leave here? Like,
this
can
is
we just
all for
normally,
me.
like, if you weren't here, would we just go through the card?
A lot of people would consider very naive.
So, because you have been given allowance to come here, it
mainly
is
because
a
they've
simple
all seen
method
the
of coming to
cruelties
the
of our
Cosmo,
world.
closing your eyes and willing yourself to come here. Just imagining yourself at this
I will
quiet
not
spot.
let you. At least,
You wish to go home, or technically
I know.
back to the Cosmo?
I understand.
You close your
how
eyes,
these-
concentrate,
the
and
The world
Sorry.
doesn't get less cruel
Return.
if you fight back at it that way.
Good to
If you
know.
have any
Good to
issues?
know.
Interesting place.
I can assist you still.
Fantastic. I
sadly,
think
you are right.
I've got it,
If you ever
because
wondered how
I have a
typically
wonderful
birth,
job to go to.
This is part of that.
I
Oh.
wish the world was
Understood.
Ooh.
Yes,
It's
I
better.
wish that we
wherever.
didn't all have to fight in such a manner.
Where?
Quite
Well then.
right.
But sometimes,
If you wish to concentrate, close your
just like
eyes, and I will help you.
Alrighty,
sometimes
one
it's like
second.
lesson
Concentrating.
experience.
And when you are physically able
Because
to
I
go,
don't
you will be
understand
returned.
how to know
I appreciate the lesson today.
Well, let me put it
Pat,
this
pat,
way,
pat.
Cleary. You don't want to harm no one. You don't really want to die, correct?
It's quite bright here.
For now.
So, let's just put you in a situation
Come
where
on, tropical waters, where are you?
you and Briar are enjoying yourselves at the office.
Here we go.
Someone comes in, pretends to be a client.
Are you well?
Your guards are left down, but then they should prove themselves to be an assassin. After a bit of a tussle, you attempting to protect him. They have Miss Briar.
Now, are you upset because it
You've
feels like she
exhausted
does
all
not
of your
understand?
options to keep her safe,
Or are you upset because
and
you
there's
once
only
thought that
one
way
option
yourself?
left. It's either to take the assassin's life.
In the span of 4 months, I went from where she stood to where I'm standing now.
They could have a place amongst our
And
group.
that's a
That
very
is
scary
Briar's
thought.
situation.
Well, I've already gotten quite a bit of
At least
amounts of
That's
places to
how
go
she
to.
feels. I believe she's trying to find another way.
I've used
Who do
my
you
own
fight
powers.
Make you happy. Hence
We'll
why
have
she
to
was
I mean,
trying
it
to
help,
find
it could help you. It could help you learn
Ultimately,
more
because
about
despite-
magic because of our magic and
Despite
machine art
many would
I don't know.
improvements. You could maybe even
It
learn how to make
depends on
some
what
light
fight I'm
fancy
fighting,
here.
because it never seems to be the same.
Well,
I still don't
I'm
understand
pretty
why we
close
can't
already
just
as
sit
it
down
is.
and talk about
Do you
it.
fight because of your friends?
Because there are some people
Sounds interesting.
Sometimes.
that war
And others?
that
Most
you
of the things
cannot
I've been
talk
making
to.
are either
Sometimes it's for that
They
who
won't
I
give you
serve.
the
close to
choice.
being almost
They
like
will
Sometimes-
steal the
enemies,
choice
or
of talk away,
I don't know.
I fight out of rage.
and they will make you choose
What makes you angry?
kill.
If I
not hit.
If you
had a sentient one
Exactly.
escape,
Normally, it's
There are some people
things
you
that would
can't
only
talk
make
to.
me
yeah,
slightly
that
upset.
could be a problem.
Unfortunately,
But-
But if you ever do want to learn this stuff more,
listen,
you're always
Then
welcome.
how do you know who?
I'm losing my mind.
After this mission,
And not in the
attempt
Joe,
to talk to
Mr. Joe over there is going.
not in the way that most people mean it.
convince
If
them
this
that
mission
this
goes
is
successful, and
Then perhaps this lesson is
will
one
be
you've needed for a
exceptional.
while.
Exhaust as much options as possible. But don't
As for
leave
now,
I've recently found a place that
we only
is
have few of our units present at the current time, while
my private heaven.
still remains.
or if you feel like you
Hmm?
don't have a choice
But
The more of our
that is
units
when
that are
you
present
stay
with
close.
even then,
the more
I
likely chance there's more.
still
And I don't think
have that disease eating at me.
we try to keep the war part of this conflict in
Then you
space
pray
and
that
space
someone else
alone.
can.
Is it the loss of control that angers you?
It's the one place
That
we can fight
there
without
is
hurting
nothing you can do
anybody
to
else.
fight this disease?
Plus,
I feel like I have no control on any aspect of my life.
to really breathe
Uh,
makes space
I feel like no matter
The saddest.
So then after all,
quicksand,
synthetic, then why not
you
fight in a
step
plastic
into it
base?
one day, not knowing that it's there. By the time you notice, you're up to your ankles.
Unfortunately, that is
You start fighting,
It also makes
trying to
some
get
of our,
back.
Titans that feel
But the harder the
that's
fight,
a lot more
the more you
effective.
sink,
I just pray you never have to be put in that position.
till you're over your head.
The gel stabs in the void Akin.
No one hears you scream.
I'll learn not to be in that
Almost like being
position.
caught in an undertow.
The gel stabs,
I believe
as
you
the
to be
name
correct.
probably implies.
By the time you figure out you're being pulled under, you're already dead.
Of course. We kitsune are always naturally clever.
If it's coming out pretty soon, I'm gonna have to
And
decline
given
for
much
now,
naivety.
since I'm gonna
Does that speak to you?
do some things.
It's relatively soon. It's not going to be until after
That
the
just sounds
Thursday
naive.
of next week.
You know, you
And that's only
you
if I could
take
clear
care of
out
them.
everything.
I'll just listen in. Yeah.
I'd be lying if I'd say
I'll
it's
definitely think on it. I'm sure
Give me your
I'm
hands.
still a little busy with
like
things.
that.
I can try to.
Even
It's
so,
not like you have to full on dedicate yourself.
Look at me.
though she'll
I
never
mean,
admit it.
we just had, for example,
You
think
are
Q
suffering.
dolls over in
She's
Orlando
very
Sakurai,
prideful.
where she's
You're
helping them
going
rebuild.
through a
We're not
terrible
exactly
ordeal.
fully integrating them as a part of us.
You are not alone.
I mean,
But many are those who do not quite understand.
The shutdown with all of my
Correct?
creations.
But I can teach you as
We've
much
And
actually got
they
one of our
cannot
own currently
understand
helping Keith as well.
because you don't understand. You don't
Elementary.
understand
Ever
why it
seen
is
a
happening
little
to you.
short stack mechanic
You do not
with
understand
green
what
hair
is
named
But at a
happening.
certain
Stone?
point, I may require
And
you
you
to
do not
bring
understand what
materials.
will
Are going to be
I
happen
could do
because
that.
of all of this.
She's one of ours, as well as her sister
You
Yanni.
see
But for the
yourself
time
changing
being, you
in
will not
ways
have to
that you did not think were possible,
as you are still
and
learning,
ways that you cannot
consider it
I
as
will.
a mentor
handle.
covering the
Guess I could try to send
because it is all
some
out of your
units
control.
able enough to be
your
able to
way.
acquire the rest
Am I
on
right?
your own.
Or am I wrong?
I mean,
Okay.
shutdown's not
You're
gonna
right.
be a whole bunch of these.
And that is why you were angry
I
at
did
the
it
young
almost
one.
Again,
all.
maybe
Because
our
they represent
resources
you
could
from
help you
4
make
months ago.
more.
I know.
I mean,
You
I'm
almost
good at standing.
Yeah.
Sponsor here is
And
one
you
of the
wish
quality units,
just
so
simply
they're
for them to
custom-made
not be
bodies.
what you are now.
Yep.
You can maybe learn how to make one too. As older
But
units
I don't
you
even
also
wanna
want
be-
them
most
to
diverse
understand.
units because they have no set blueprints.
I don't
Only
even want to
set
be me.
purpose.
But you are.
Yeah.
We cannot change what has happened to us. But, at the very least, we can figure out
If you want to know more,
what
perhaps you
has
should
become of
contact
us
Stone.
and use
She
it
could
to our
probably
best
help you
strengths.
out.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
You are a unique
After all,
individual.
I won't always be available.
She is not you.
I can only
You
speak
are not
through
her.
my units like this unless I'm meeting face-to-face with somebody.
Do not think that by getting her to
Usually when
understand,
when I'm
you are
meeting
able
face-to-face
to
with
placate the
somebody,
old
it's
you.
either some of the higher-ups of the company, or it's because somebody's about to die.
You wish you were her, but you are not.
so clear.
But because you are not, you can protect her.
Enjoying yourself on these
Let's go ahead.
lessons.
I'll have to leave now,
I've
as
only been
she
to.
needs repair.
This is the third one.
Yes.
No.
I'd say let Miss Locke there
Focus.
know.
Has anything intrigued you so
What
far?
can you do?
What about the planers?
What is it that Briar
What do you
can
mean?
do? What strength does she wield?
Well, did any of them pique your curiosity? For instance,
Information?
plane shifting.
Hmm.
Be able to visit other planes.
Knowledge is power, and
For instance, like the
Maybe.
fire plane is a land of nothing but fire.
I don't want.
Oh,
Burning in
Bonta.
I don't even want him
that
dead.
sounds like
I
I
just
can't live
want.
there.
Well, you can.
You want him to
I
stop.
just.
Body. Oh,
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
it is your
So,
office all over.
using that brain of yours,
I'm just-
perhaps you can
You're
figure
right
out a
here.
method to get him to stop.
Yes, just
After all,
into magical
he has
attraction, I
been
plucked
stopped
them.
before.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Okay, which he are we talking about? Because now I'm not sure we're on the same page.
Well, maybe the ability to visit Briar's
Yes.
class. If they are truly an outsider.
Oh,
That might be nice.
Of course,
Really?
you
Seeing
still
all
need
this
to
stuff
prepare
would
your
be
body.
cool. Oh.
I've
Can
already
you
prepared
honestly
cleanup
think
bodies.
of those that you are fighting against and honestly say that they have never been stopped before?
I require assistance on that. I have a spell that can do things like that.
I mean,
I'd say
those who know
basically
the strongest of them all say that
learning
he enjoys getting his way.
cleanup body.
Those who know the Void One know that he does anything he can to get his way.
But he has
And-
been stopped.
Yes, that, and you never know. Jumping from a different plane.
Despite
could
all
be
of their power,
the most terrifying yet most
they are
exciting
not
adventure
emotionless
that I've
entities.
planned after
And while
much,
they
much
may have
previous
some measure of
experience.
intelligence, that means that they are just
Why?
as human
Does
as
it hurt?
anyone else.
Not so much that it hurt, is that it can be just as dangerous here. Here, there's some sense of order.
And that makes them both infinitely more dangerous than some mindless entity, and infinitely easier to handle.
Easier to handle, for instance, if I were to go to the plane of ice, I'd be able to handle it just perfectly as long as I'm not being
Thoughts can be changed, emotions can be altered or manipulated. And more importantly, one can utilize the past against them.
But
Then how do you know what places you're going to and what places you can handle?
well, that's the point of getting your
I don't know if I can.
Your planar body allows you to endure
The last time I
The real
going in.
said no, it
So,
nearly
for
killed
instance,
me.
if you're going to a flyer,
I think the
The
real
only thing that-
question is,
a fire
what is it you
plane,
need to do?
your body would be able to handle the
And how
heat
should you go about it?
Hmm.
and endure the things that survive naturally. Of course, your body still require food in some regards.
The sun was placed in a cave before, no? Now, I should check on the other one.
I would say if you were to go visit the Celestia, make sure you haven't done medicine. If you were a horrible, terrifying soul, well,
You know,
I
my
imagine
advice might
many
not be the
angels of
best,
judgment would
but
be coming after you immediately.
Oh,
someone's trying to fuck up the one you care about.
So I should be
Well, I
writing
don't
down
What
what
I
it is
say is
then?
smash him to bits.
I don't think it would actually be much of an issue unless you are partaking of their trials. Simply visiting Celestia is not enough
Sadly,
to
thoughts like that will
cause them to pass judgment on
make
you.
my mind.
Don't do that anyway
What's
much.
because you're mortal.
If I let the anger
The trials
in
about
anymore, it's going to
Celestia
take
are
me.
to gain access to the next highest areas. There are several below. The higher you go, the more powerful entities you
What's a little
encounter,
drowning?
No matter.
as well as
Huh?
different areas
Nothing.
have different items, goods, and even environments to them that people wish to visit and attain.
Oh, why?
Depends. Sometimes people want power. Sometimes people are looking for rare ingredients. Sometimes people want to talk to a stronger entity simply because they can.
I'll say, I do feel that the
So there's
strength that
new
comes in
people
a
there?
rage is
Of course.
Usually,
with a lot more than feeling weak.
as much as I say that it is the closest to heaven one can get, it is not where souls go after they pass.
Let's figure out
They
whatever
It is a
alternative's better. Yeah?
depends. The cycle of reincarnation is different for a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Hmm.
Sometimes they are reborn as a new entity. Sometimes they simply go through an afterlife of
Oh,
sorts.
want it.
Sometimes they simply
If
cease to be.
Oh,
Or
if
if
Joe's
they are
wondering,
connected to a deity, they will
no,
only be
I
brought
can't.
into their fold.
I can't leave her yet.
Hmm.
then
I'd like
what
to go and
is
just
non-celestial
think for
then?
a moment.
Yeah.
It is a place in the positive energy plane where angels, deva, celestials, entities that live in the positive energy plane call home.
Like Miss Briar?
That's like asking, like Briar's parents. Miss Briar themselves are not completely celestial. Though, she is
I honestly
welcome
feel like
there.
this is what Meat Hamsky needs.
I wasn't
Please relax.
formed in Celestia. At least not as far as I know.
Hmm.
Not like many
Please
Celestials.
relax.
Are you doing well, by the way, both of you?
Oh, I'm quite fine.
Mm-hmm.
And you, dear? Hmm. Understood. I am going to check up on one other. Are you doing all right, dear?
I don't know. In all honesty.
What is wrong?
Well, aside from feeling generally weak, I'm feeling more otherwise weak.
Do you feel as if something is missing?
More and more.
This affliction has been a part of you for a long time, no?
I suppose.
Then it is understandable. There has never been a waking moment where you haven't had it.
I mean, like an exhausted kind of week.
Hmm.
Does this one have soul sight?
Yes.
Her soul is weakened.
Hmm. Considering how bonded you were to it, it is no surprise. But the soul is something that can recover, even from this. It will take a while, and it will be frustrating, both because it is different and because it is lesser. Because it makes you feel as if you cannot participate, do the things that you used to. No?
Everything's changing in my life all at once, really. I really didn't expect it.
We never expect change when it comes. The real question is whether we're able to follow through with the change, adapt, grow, or get pulled under by it and focus so heavily on it that we can't see anything else. The way that this happened to you, to us, was far too sudden. But it may end up being for the better. The real question is, what is important to you in the here and now? What is it that you want?
Is it even my desire? Or is it just lingering remnants of a kiss?
That is a very important question. One that can only be answered by spending time with that which you may or may not desire. And seeing how you feel about it.
Yeah. How long is it gonna take till I know it's me? That's what she asked. Pretty much. Anyway.
The answer differs for a lot of people. In a way, it's not unlike a bad habit or an addiction.
Did she ask? No. No, it must have been a dream. Oh, speaking of dreams, actually. I'm gonna try not to look at that ear.
Understood.
Bit of a...
Maybe... Would you like to stay here a while? Reflect. Briar wishes to bring us elsewhere.
I'm good to go. I can come here anytime, yeah?
Of course. Simply visit the Cosmo.
Yeah.
Let us go.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess you're not exactly Jill, right?
No. And he doesn't see or hear what is going on at the moment. Though,
Yeah.
if you wish us to inform him of anything, we will.
That's fine. He brought up looking into memories to try to learn more about it, too.
Hmm?
But I don't think we never quite got to that, considering everything that happens.
True. I do not have the capability to do that with the Cosmo.
Of course.
But that is something that we can do later. Hmm?
Yeah.
If I get a chance, I will try.
I was going to say, you could do that before we all leave. That way
She just
you
looks
don't
like
forget.
she's having a conversation over there,
Oh,
and
I
I
was
kinda interrupted,
just
but
about
if
to
Miss
head out.
Briar was gonna go with her anyway.
Ah, then let us go.
Oh, she's not
Right,
over there.
back in.
Here, I've got the path out, actually. You see
Mhm.
her pull
so good
what
at
looks to
stairs.
be a small star that fits in the palm of her hand. Here. Let me put it here. She takes a step with her right foot, and a rift opens in front of her. If you wouldn't mind following along with me.
Of course.
Alright. Oh, that. I will bid you all farewell.
Lakshmi,
Have a
before
good-
you leave,
Have a good time, man.
Yes,
the
dear.
little one had a quick question for you. About a fate spell.
Mr. Joe taught me the fade spell, and I just wanted to ask if you can cast it on a single object on yourself, or if it's just every.
You can.
Okay.
It requires a little more concentration, but you should practice doing that.
Yes. Thank you.
Actually, I have a quick question. You wouldn't happen to have scrolls of permanency, would you?
I do not, though Joseph might.
I may have to come back and see if I can purchase a few.
Of course, dear.
As the gate
It seems
opens.
she's figured out how portals works. Let's
Mhm.
go.
It's a
Bye, Miss
different kind of body.
Briar. Bye, Miss Locke.
You'll go too.
I have to say, before we begin, it took a lot of willpower not to suddenly break out into the hokey pokey.
Can't believe
Why?
it.
She put her right foot forward, and suddenly the portal appeared. And she put her right foot back, she put her right foot in, and she shake it all about. She does the hokey pokey, and the portal suddenly appears. That's what it's all about.
Dun, 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 dun. So she
I love this map.
opens that rift, and she lets you both go in first.
Yeah.
But then she... Oh, yeah. Gravity's light here. She's going to mention something about it, so... as you both step in, she steps behind you, and the rift closes. This is my personal meditation spot. It was a gift from my goddess. As you look at each of those, Lakshmi would definitely see images of Briar in the palace, or in the mansion, images of Briar at the Lotus, even images of Briar casting a spell from a coin. These are all of Briar's memories and thoughts.
How protected is this place?
Without my permission, no one can come here.
So if we were to speak certain names, would they hear us?
Let me rephrase it. Without my permission, no one mortal can come here.
Understood.
If I were to say my goddess's name, she would know. How close is Lakshmi looking at Briar's memories and thoughts?
Basically, anything that catches her attention, she'll be like looking at. So,
Off to the left-hand side, over there, there is a small set of the falling stars that seem to have chains around them. Very small, only a year's worth. But I'll open that behind just a second. But pull one out for me too. Sorry. She wasn't letting me not. I know. I'm sorry. God damn it!
that
I
was a
fucking dropped
memory
this
of-
shit.
I'm not sure what I heard, but it sounded a bit like. It honestly sounded like Silent saying she's going to get plastered. I'm not sure what I heard.
Cleary trying to say she wanted to get plastered.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so
pick
that
up
part
this,
was true.
This yeah, this card. I accidentally dropped it. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, where was
but yeah,
that?
over there's about a year's worth of memories that seem to have some sort of chains on them. This is where I can come to move some of my thoughts out of the way. So,
Are you able to confront thoughts that you do not wish to, or do they stay out of the way?
every thought, every memory is here. So everything is there. I can choose to at least erase them from my memory for a time being. I can shove them to the back corner, I guess. Past the gate is where I go to do my morning prayer. So this is where I go to think. I also do
blessing and a curse.
That's one way to put it. It's also a way I can do a sort of plane shift. It's not so much me casting the spell, but her allowing me to go places. That's why only I can open coming here and going there. It's because she channels it through me. So I can't really do it in a intense situation, but to get here, it's calm. I'm sorry for asking. Oh, yeah, I can also kind of get up to places a little bit easier.
My goodness.
Some of the memories are high up. But, this is where I try and go to clear the rage. You notice probably about, I'll give you the specific number, 84% of the stars that are falling have almost a yellow tint to them. 10% of them have almost a moon-like glow. The other 6 are normal. At least as normal as they can be.
I have a question, Briar. What is the source of the rage?
She touches the mark that's under her eye. I'm corrupted. By an entity that I never wanted to have any say in. Yet,
Understood.
some of my protective actions led to them infecting me.
Do you regret it?
Regret is not the word I would use. I'm glad that my friends were safe from that, but it's caused more headache than I ever expected it to.
Then let me ask this again. Is the rage due to the fact that you are corrupted, or does it stem from the corruption itself?
It stems from the corruption itself, to my understanding.
Are you sure?
Like I had kind of mentioned, my emotions are being upset or being sad, but not normally anger. This seems to fog the rational side of those of those thoughts, and
Don't you look at me with that, Anka.
enhance them.
Sit down. What you are going through is very similar to what Coral went through, as well as what Joe is going through right now. Where a foreign influence is affecting your emotion. But if you do not find the source, if you do not focus on what is being affected and try to find a way around it, or even a way to isolate it, or if you don't find a way to utilize it properly, you'll begin to question whether the thoughts you are having, the emotions, are truly from the corruption or simply your own, just altered. Currently, Joe is focusing against a voice that whispers at him constantly, that gets louder whenever something he considers his or something that he wants is right in front of him or is being threatened. Normally, without this, one would assume he would have the mental fortitude to not just reach out and grab it or react rashly. But there's also the question of whether this voice, this curse, is simply bringing out a darker side of him. So the real question here is it forcing you to feel these emotions? Or is it simply making them easier for you to feel? And giving them a way out that you never allowed yourself to feel before?
I don't know.
Have you ever felt this kind of rage before?
No. God, no. I was like Cleary. I wanted compassion. I wanted no need to attack or hurt people.
But obviously there were things that happened that would upset you, no?
Getting bad scores on a test is not the same as having to fight off your enemies with a sword.
Fair, fair. Think of it like this. The entire idea of the multiverse is that in its existence, there is a version of you out there who did things differently. Who went left instead of right. Who, instead of showing restraint, lashed out, etc., etc. And in these infinite possibilities, there is a you who is completely different. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, in those moments where, say, someone upsets you, they cut you off in line, they cut you off in traffic, they got an order wrong at your favorite coffee place. Instead of acting rashly and shouting, screaming, being upset, you let it go, right? But that doesn't mean the thoughts went away. The thought of wanting to scream, of wanting to invite violence, of wanting to be the one who doesn't have to be calm, collected, understanding. And unless we find some method of release, some method of allowing these emotions to healthily be used, they stay bottled up until they're finally released. And sometimes that release gives us strength. Letting yourself just go absolutely apeshit is freeing. But afterwards, you find yourself not liking who you were when you allowed these emotions to take over. And sometimes it's not even violence. Sometimes it's simply shouting at someone for not seeing reason, of screaming at someone, of wanting to scream at someone for not agreeing. But it still builds. And we must confront that part of ourselves. We must see whether this unnatural rage, this unnatural obsession we have, is actually a part of us? Finally given a means of expressing itself? Or if it truly is an outside influence?
I hope that this is not emotion that I've had for a while. I've used places like the onsen to try and get that emotion out.
Fair. But it's a friendly spar. No?
It is, but I usually find opponents who are a lot stronger than I am, who can take me going a lot stronger than someone who would be a more even match.
In this place, you're able to confront yourself. Alright. Sorry, I had to gather my thoughts.
I take it people are talking about Joe, yeah?
Now, if this place gives your thoughts form, if you are able to see your past memories, your past self, what I want you to do is imagine you from 4 months ago, before all of this started, right in front of you. I want you to look at her and think, how would she view you now? This you who she has no context of what you've been through. What does she see?
Probably something unrecognizable. Probably something that is what she didn't want to be.
Fair? No.
I'm not saying everything's been bad.
True. But let me finish.
Sorry.
The you from 4 months ago sees you. This image of what you believe she sees. Do you think she'll only see the bad decisions? Only see the darkness? Do you think the you of 4 months ago would really be that shallow?
No, she would want to see the good that's come out of it. She'd want to see the good in that person.
I would.
I think the you from 4 months ago would take one look at you and go, oh my god, what happened? No?
Yeah, probably.
So in this place, where your memories take, where you're able to see, envision, and in some ways even control them, summon that old you. Talk to her and tell her your story. The you from 4 months ago who knows nothing of what happened. And when you do this, show her the path that you took, and maybe she'll show you the path you could have taken, so that you might improve in the future.
Okay. I can do that.
But I also want you, at times, when you are at your strongest, when you feel that you can handle it, to summon an image of you at your worst. An image of what you feel you have become because of this rage. I want you to look deep into it and find the good. Find the reason. Because there is no rage without reason. Something caused this. And it's not just this. And when you do, you'll be stronger for it. Just don't end up beating yourself up. You do that enough outside.
Understood.
Did you catch all that?
You know, I think my past self would kick my ass.
Probably. Though I'd
I'd
also
probably
think
be
your past self would
mortified.
be fucking jealous.
Of what? What? Who said that?
It was a video I saw on the internet.
Oh. I don't know if the me 4 months ago would have thought of anything more than a fling. Probably like, what are you
True.
doing?
But at the same time, I personally believe you've grown, matured.
Maybe.
And I think you're continuing to do so.
Yeah.
Admittedly, this is starting to make me feel emotional for my family. Now then, I do believe it's time for me to rest. I've had control of the body long enough.
I can
We
take you
go-
back to wherever you want to go.
As
long
We're
as
going
I
back
know of
home,
it.
I assume, yeah?
You do not have to come if you do not wish to. Enjoy yourself.
I mean...
Perhaps spend some time with your, dear one,
Like I said, I can put you anywhere
Guess we'll
that I
see.
know of.
Yeah, I think I should probably
Now then.
text her first.
It would help. Now, home if you please.
She takes that same step, and the rift opens. And it's the front door of the mansion.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Of course, dear. Shall we?
Here's just a moment. I'm sending her a text. Is that game even working here,
While we're waiting
actually?
Yeah,
the
I can
portal's
actually.
open, so.
Yeah.
But text messages do come through here as long as I allow it.
Now, remember, the Void One was defeated before. Look into how and figure out who he is and who he was. And realize that there is another source for his power. As for the other, once again, the sun in the cave, the story of the raven. Look into that.
You can't see the text I'm sending when I do this, can you?
No, I
Okay,
can only
okay.
allow or disallow.
Good.
No, God.
You know, retrospect, I should have asked that
godlike
before sending the
entity.
text in the first place, but yeah.
Even then, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty big invasion of privacy.
Yeah. I mean, I've known the sort, so.
Yeah.
You know where Faye and Wisteria's place is?
Wisteria. I can't say I know of the place.
In that case, I'll just Head back to Joe's place, then. First, I can make my way from there. Yeah, cheers.
And scene!
Dab. Alright, I'm headed off to the Lotus. I'm gonna stomp my little feetsies and see a rift into the parking lot of the Lotus.
My hands are dead.
Would you like to know what the text was?
Rep.
What was it?
Hey, Faye. Tits Joe is insisting I come over to yours. That alright? This entire time, Coral has not picked up your name.
You're fine. By the way,
Oh my gosh.
you do understand what I'm talking about, right? The sun and the mountain, the story of the raven? Okay. So,
Galaxy doesn't know,
Amaterasu.
and
Okay.
Briar definitely
Long
doesn't
story
know.
short, I'm going to condense it. It's one of the more famous stories of Amaterasu, okay?
Okay.
Where she thought, oh, well, I'm tired of being the sun. I just have to get up every day. Nobody appreciates me. I'm gonna go into my cave and stay trapped there forever because nobody cares about me. Oof. And that's how, like, the sun was gone from the universe for a while until a raven literally set up a mirror in front of the cave and started calling out, oh, hey, this new sun is great. Praise this new sun. We didn't need that fucking bitch anyway. At which point Amaterasu's like, what, bitch? What you say? There's a new sun? There's only one me. Slams the door open and sees a mirror of herself. She's so upset, she literally burns the raven, because back then, ravens were white. Burns the feathers black, but finally came out, the sun's out, and, you know, crops can grow again, people can live, and they're no longer freezing anymore. So it's because of that, the raven was actually given her blessing and became her favorite bird. Literally, they were sun blessed, and it is also because of them that the bitch, I'm sorry, that Amaterasu decided, okay, you know what, I guess I am important after all. I guess I'll continue doing this. Just show me some more appreciation, okay?
Oh my lord.
Because if you ignore me, I might just go away again.
I hear you and Crimson had quite the riveting conversation.
Are you still streaming?
Yep.
I'm not.
I'm about to cut it though.
Ah, shit!
Unless we're going to
My
Lotus.
hips on my hand!
Oh god. Oh god.
My hands are dying.
I'm going to head to the Lotus. I will see you all later.
All right.
I'm sure you and I will be having many a conversation
Yeah.
in the very near future.
Just DM me later.
Yeah, because I don't know about the other one that you're talking about. So,
Right.
the one about the void. I don't know that
You are
story
talking
either.
about the samurai, right?
Cheers.
Yes, I'm talking about